Did you ever feel like pushing that door open at work, walking out, and hitting the open road? Well, my name is Nick Kessler, and I teach shop. And this is my buddy, Brian Fulmer. He teaches too. And let's not forget about our former student, Wolfie. And when summer comes, we turn into a 3-person film crew that hits the highways and byways of North America in style, riding drop top in our 1968 Caddy. Our main mission, to educate you about the places we visit. No classroom rules or lesson plans here. Just complete freedom to show you what this great nation is about. This is Road Trip Masters. This week's episode has us driving drop top, caddy style, to the beautiful town of Cape May, New Jersey. The sky is beautiful and the temperature is just perfect. Cape May was a popular seaside resort before the Civil War, and still is today. This town has seen its share of challenges, ravaged by 2 major fires in 1869 and 1878. Active community members and leaders of the time banded together to rebuild Cape May into what it is today, an architectural marvel of Victorian homes and landscapes that are visible on every street corner in this quaint storybook town. In fact, it is so picturesque that in 1976, the entire town was deemed a National Historic Landmark. So we found it only befitting that we make our first stop on Stockton Row, where we found a true treasure. Built in 1869 in the Carpenter Gothic style, the John Wesley Inn is one of those original cottages of its era. That's where I met Bonnie, the owner of this bed and breakfast. Bonnie, how long have you been the owner here at the John Wesley?
This is our 12th summer.
How many rooms do you have here at this bed and breakfast?
This is a 6-bedroom bed and breakfast.
How are the rooms set up?
We have 2 suites. One is a 2-room suite with an air jet tub. The other one is a large suite with its own private porch. And then 4 additional bedrooms.
I think it's important to point out the grounds here too. The gardens that you have. I mean, pretty indigenous of the area.
Indigenous of the area for sure. And they are a copy of what could have been in a Victorian garden.
Now, when we come here, what type of breakfast can we expect? Sit down in that beautiful dining room there. What do you normally cook up for your guests here?
Eggs Benedict. We do blueberry pancakes with all local berries, French toast.
Right, classic Americana in this classic Americana
Yes.
town, basically. How far are you from the ocean?
We are half a block to the ocean.
Is it safe to say that you're all within walking? We know the ocean, but all the shopping, everything
Yes.
within walking distance?
Yes, I am centrally located in the heart of the historic district. You can walk to everything.
Man, beautiful. I noticed there's a bunch of classic cars. I left the Caddy out there. It almost seems like it has play friends. What can you tell me about that?
My husband and I have a classic car collection from the early 60s through the early 70s.
And I love the neon signs out there in the garage, the way it's decorated.
That's his neon sign collection.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bonnie, we're so excited to stay here, and thank you so much for your hospitality. We can't wait. People forget that Cape May is a fishing town, and that means one thing, fresh seafood. But where to go? To the Island Grill, of course. Smack dab in the heart of Cape May, the Island Grill is known from everything from its fresh, local produce, harvested from small surrounding farms, to the sustainable seafood that they source from hard-working fishermen. The Island Grill prides itself in community-sourced and seasonally inspired cuisine that is exploding with flavor. That's where Brian caught up with Josh, who is the mastermind and culinary genius that powers the Island Grill, where they started with the Atlantic Swordfish Crudo.
We're going to start with our avocado. Do it because it's such a nice summer ingredient.
It's fresh.
It's fresh, it's clean,
Makes you feel
fatty.
light. Yep.
Next, a sashimi cut on the swordfish, slightly on an angle and sliced very thin.
All right, so we're just going to lay these little pieces on here like that. All right, just kind of keep it real nice and tight. Now we're just going to add a little bit of the Maldon salt, just to kind of, like I said, it seasons it as well as gives it a little bit of crunch and texture. So we're just going to throw a little of the Jersey fresh cucumbers on here, and we utilize them at all means here. So I'm going to throw a couple in here like that. Add a little lemon juice to kind of bring out a little bit of these, the flavor of the fish. Next, the watermelon radishes, which we just toss in a little bit of our lemon vinaigrette. So we have this opal basil, and we also use a little oregano that we grow right out front of our garden out there. Anyhow, this is just mustard seeds that we cook down in a little bit of sugar, water, put in a little bit of dill pickling liquid to kind of give it a little bit of pop.
Look at that absolutely gorgeous swordfish yap. Such culinary artistry. And now, time for the entree, the Cape May scallops. Literally right from the boat to the restaurant, as fresh can be.
All right, so I'm just gonna get a little oil in the pan. Like I said, I use a little blend.
How do I know when my oil is ready?
It shouldn't smoke. All right, I'm just gonna season these guys up a little bit.
Cooking my scallops, what am I looking for? What are the keys there?
You're gonna look for a nice, you wanna do a nice, you wanna hear like a onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna hit it down like that. You don't wanna play with them too much, just let them do their thing.
So Josh spread out some homemade corn pudding onto the plate, along with a fresh avocado puree. Next, he laid down some scallion ash, which adds a little charred taste to the dish.
All right, so now these have a nice little crust on the bottom.
Then Josh moved the pan to the broiler.
So here we have a squash and zucchini. And these are from a company up in New York. It's either the Hakuri turnips, grown here in New Jersey.
Then the squash, zucchini, and turnips go into the broiler to cook alongside the scallops until they are al dente.
We start in, so that's that, they're done. Nice firm to the touch. Should have a nice golden color to them like that. Nice crust on top. Like that. I have an onion oil here we make that just kind of goes on here. Oops. Just a little bit to kind of brighten it up. You kind of see how it glazes it a little bit, brings that brightness back to it.
Now time to pull the veggies out of the broiler where Josh began to plate. Just look at the texture and vibrant colors that go into the Cape May scallop entree. And speaking of scallops, time to add them onto this masterpiece. Just yesterday, they were living on the ocean floor.
And then we're just gonna drape some of these like just shaved squash. Just like I said, it's one more way to introduce some of those like squash flavors. Just a little lemon vinaigrette's gonna kind of dress the scallop and there's a lot of saucy in this, okay? Then we have these gorgeous nasturtium flowers. They add a nice peppery note to it.
Man, Josh, the presentation on this is beautiful. Scallops are awesome.
They were awesome, and that's because Chef Josh only uses the freshest of ingredients, while also adding his own unique flair and personality to classic dishes, which is what makes the Island Grill a definite stop when you're in Cape May.
Coming up next on Road Trip Masters, Brian and I set some time aside for a little fun in the sun and fire up the jets on the Atlantic. Then we head out to the beach to hunt for diamonds, and later we pick up a Cape May legend in the 68 Caddy. Welcome back. Family fun is what most vacations are all about, and sometimes you need that adrenaline rush, and Cape May has it at East Coast Water Sports. That's where I caught up with the big guy and owner, Andy.
What's up, brother? How are you, sir?
Hey, we're ready to have some fun. What do you got for us?
We have parasailing, we have jet ski and wave runner rentals. We also have our high-speed jet boat adventure tour. That jet boat, that's new to us. We've had it for about 3 seasons now. That holds 24 passengers, reaches speeds over 40 miles an hour, does all kinds of turns, spins, twists. It's a great time.
You're like one of the first on the East Coast to have that jet boat that size, correct?
Absolutely.
East Coast Water Sports in Cape May, baby. We're going to do it all. Andy, thank you so
Well,
much,
let's get on the water and have some good time.
Thank you, my friend.
You got it.
If this boat does over 40 miles per hour with 24 people, how fast does it go with just Brian and I in it? That's when we decided to add a little more weight and invited my son Alec aboard.
Let her rip, baby.
Then we were off, heading toward the inlet to take her out to sea.
I knew we'd get that boat weight.
In order for us to capture this amazing experience, Wolfie had to be on another boat, which is great, but he gets seasick.
I wonder if Wolfie's puking. Ask him if Wolfie's feeling seasick.
They want to know if the cameraman you have on there, Wolfie's feeling seasick yet.
I hope not.
No, he's good.
He
Said he's good.
All right.
We need him for the rest of the day. He gets seasick, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
So it was time to see what this boat can do. 360 time, that is, to see if we can pull some G's.
All right. There we go with the turn. Woo-hoo.
That is cool.
That is cool.
He says, how could something this big do that? That is unnatural.
What a rush. Now it was time for the crash stop.
Here we go. Try to keep it. Oh boy.
At After being soaked with salt water, it was time to head back in and switch boats and get ready to parasail to see what Cape May looks like from 300 feet in the air. But first, I felt the need to clear the air with the crew.
All right, guys, you got to have some horror stories when people are parasailing. Anything like that? Anybody chicken out, changed their mind, panic up high, you had to reel them in?
You'd be surprised. Most people, once they get up there, they really enjoy it. Very rarely does somebody want to come back in. They find it more peaceful than they expect it to be once they're up in the air.
All right, guys, we're going to hit it. See what happens. Let's go.
But Brian and I got to thinking. We decided it was time to do something nice for Wolfie and Alec and let them have the honor of soaring 300 feet. After all, life isn't about all work and no play. Well, Brian and I, we're not too keen on heights.
Hey, Pop, how do you feel? Nervous?
I'm more excited than nervous.
Wolfie, how do you feel, buddy?
I feel great. It's going to be a great time.
Wolver, how do you feel?
I feel fantastic. I'm not the one going up. This is a great scenic boat ride for me. I get to see Cape May, I'm out on the seas. It's an awesome, beautiful morning.
I felt really great about those two going up. Look at the attention to detail in regards to safety.
It's almost go time.
So we could just let go of our hands.
Alrighty, guys, come on down.
All right, boys, there they go.
I'm gonna have slide right here on your butt.
There goes Wolfie. Heaviest man first. Hey, Pop.
Hey, fellas, didn't even see that.
You ready, Alice?
Good morning, Al. Good morning.
There they go. Catch some wind. There goes my oldest son.
Did you know the staff at East Coast Water Sports has a 100% safety record? And all the boat captains are U.S. Coast Guard certified. But like all good things, they must come to an end, but not without getting dipped first a couple of times in the cool ocean water. It was great to have the boys back on board because it was time for our next excursion, which is a lot more laid back. The Cape May Whale Watch and Research Center. Established in 1987, you can motor out on their 90-foot boat that is set up perfectly for up-close and personal viewing of whales and dolphins. Marine life is their specialty, and you can choose from a 2 to 3 hour ocean adventure. Next on RTM, we head to the beach and experience a heartfelt ceremony. Then later, Brian and I head out to pick up a special date. During our stay at Cape May, everyone kept telling us about a special place called Sunset Beach, where you can see the sun rise and set in the same location. This is the same spot where the infamous Cape May diamonds reside. We wanted to learn more about these unique diamonds, and that's where Brian found Larry, the owner of Sunset Beach.
Larry, what a great place for families, because I know I told my kids, and again, they're small, so I said, hey kids, you want to go to the beach looking for Cape May diamonds?
Yeah.
And what is the story about?
The Cape May diamonds are thousands of them, millions of them all over the beach. They come down from the northern Delaware River into the bay. The bay gets about 8 miles more narrow here at the end, creates like a funnel, and they wash ashore in an enormous quantity right here.
What do my kids need to find? Buckets, a big shovel?
You don't even need a big shovel. Really, a sifter, a little shovel, a bag. They're literally all over the beach.
So Brian set out with his little twins to scavenge the beach and look for the infamous Cape May diamonds. And of course, the Kessler boys assisted in the efforts too. But we wanted to better understand how the Cape May diamonds are transformed into beautiful works of art. And that's where Jeanette explained the process.
The fun part is out on the beach.
Okay.
We get them by buckets and buckets. So then they are tumbled at a different location in our warehouse. 3 weeks in the rock tumbler.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Okay. Continuously?
You have a medium 1 week, a fine 1 week, and a polished 1 week. And they become clear. The better ones then are sent to the gem cutter.
Okay.
So you're able to facet them, and then we put them all in the different settings. They are absolutely beautiful.
There were other amazing stones and geodes there as well. Just look at this one that stands close to 6 feet tall. Incredible. Sunset Beach also has a rich military history. The World War I transport ship, the SS Atlantis, ran aground here in 1926. This vessel was constructed completely out of concrete due to the cost effectiveness of the time. There is also a World War II lookout tower that scanned the ocean horizon for enemy German U-boats lurking off the shores in the Atlantic. But one of the main reasons we came to Sunset Beach was to witness their flag ceremony, which honors a different veteran every night in flying their casket flag. This tradition was started by Larry's father, Marvin Hume, who was a United States Navy veteran that served on 5 aircraft carriers from 1942 until his discharge in 1945. The ceremonies start on Memorial Day and last until September 30th. The entire flag ceremony is 8 minutes and starts with the history of the fallen's military career and their family background. Then a moment of silence, followed by Kate Smith's God Bless America, and then our national anthem. As the flag comes down, Taps is played. The flag is then folded by family members, and that's when Korean War veteran Tom Riemensnyder reminded us all what the flag represents.
This banner of love and devotion is a living memorial of the courageous thoughts of our comrade, the one you came here to honor this day. The blue field represents the sky that overlooks the land and denotes the watchfulness of God the Eternal. The red stripes tell of the blood, sweat, and tears that have been offered by our comrades. Devotion to the responsible freedom of his country. The white stripe boldly proclaims the peace that he helped to bring to future generations. This is his flag. This is our spiritual heritage. Receive it with the tears of our hearts and the faith of our minds. Many people sacrificed for this flag. Please don't abuse those privileges.
Next on RTM, Brian, I, and Wolfie set out to pick up a very special lady that is near and dear to the town of Cape May. So who is this Cape May legend? Well, no other than Lucille, who is the head cook at the Chalfont, which is Cape May's oldest hotel. But before we get to her legendary story, we went to pick her up on her day off, at her house, drive her back to work Cadillac style for this interview. Lucille remembers when she first started to work at the hotel, making a whopping $4.50 a week. I knew she had more to tell, and that's when we had the sit down. How long you been at the Chalfont?
Well, I came to the Chalfont when I was 7 years old, for the summer months.
So you worked at the Chalfont here in the bathhouses.
Yeah.
When did you start in the kitchen?
We left the bathhouse and went to the dining room. Turned 16, we went into the main dining room. We stayed in the main dining room until we were in our 20s. So when the main cooks started passing away, my mother came and started cooking, and that's when my sister and I, we came in the kitchen.
Now everybody raves about the biscuits, the fried chicken. Are these your mother's recipes?
Yes.
And everybody told me in Cape May, you gotta come to the Chalfont for that.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, everybody you talk to. Best fried chicken. I heard every night you have a glass of wine.
Yeah, a glass of wine.
And right
Okay.
here at the spot.
Yep. Yep.
And then on the weekends, what?
There's scotch on the weekend.
Do they charge you for it?
No way. Are you kidding?
Now, when the interview's over, do we take you home or are you gonna feel like you have to stay here and work?
Heck no, you better take me home.
Any advice for our people out there as to the key to work, longevity,
Yes. Keep on working. Keep on moving.
treat people well, or tell them what you think?
Tell them what you think.
Be upfront and honest. Let's say if
That's it.
I did this interview and I was sitting in the chair right here, and what would you say to me if I was in that chair where you're at now? Would you tell me to move?
Yeah, get your up.
And that's your
That's
TV.
what I tell the kids.
Any of them give you back talk or lip?
No, they all love me, and I love those little kids, yeah.
All right, people, there we go. Lucille,
80 years at the Chow Pond. She says not true, but 80 seasons. Can we say 80 seasons
Yeah.
at the Chow? A Cape May legend.
So we had to drive Lucille back to her house. Remember, it was her day off. But as soon as we turned the corner, all of the staff at the Chow Pond came out to honor and show their love and respect for her. Remember, when in Cape May, you gotta stop by and try Lucille's Fried Chicken, which was once voted #1 by the USA Today. And don't forget to try her biscuits and rolls too, and experience some of that Southern classic cuisine. Well, that's it for now. Until next time, people, get out there and hit the open road, whether it be planned or unplanned. So until next time, rock on, people, and God bless America.